Okay. Yeah, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar series. It's actually the first in a number of webinars we're going to be having for PG students and for mid-career staff members as we help you as a research directorate to build your capacity. We have an established professor with us, and in a short time, you're going to meet him. So I'm going to invite Rachel to present a short tourism potential of her people, tribe, and then read the citation of the speaker. So, Rachel, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know where my video is. Can you see me? Okay. Good morning, distinguished colleagues, scholars, and participants. On behalf of the Research and Development Directorate of Plateau State University, I warmly welcome you to today's webinar. So it's my pleasure to anchor this session as we explore designing high-impact, problem-driven research for local contexts. So I'm just going to give a brief presentation on my people. That's the Tarok people of Plateau State. Don't mind that my name is Dawuru. I'm married to a Mupun man, but I'm a Tarok lady. So the Tarok people are people of cultural resilience. They are people known for an enduring culture. You cannot see a Tarok man that does not have a touch with any part of his culture at all in Plateau State. We are mostly likened to the Igbo people of the Middle Belt. Yeah, we're an indigenous group in Plateau State. We're located in Langtang North and Langtang South. We have a rich agrarian-based economy and a strong cultural identity rooted in our language. When you come to our village, the first thing you hear is Owongsanya, Mbaru. That's welcome. You hear our people, you don't, there are some typical villages you go to, you hear them speaking other languages like Hausa and English, Yoruba. But when you go to Lantang, from entering Lantang, you will hear everyone is speaking the language. We also have a cultural cohesion and identity preservation. We have a deep sense of connection to our roots. Our people love the culture deeply and always strive to preserve the culture. We also have strong cultural resilience and identity preservation. Our culture mirrors strength. We have a clan-based structure. Our elders uphold customs and beliefs. A tarot culture is one culture that is going to be very difficult to erase from planet Earth because it is passed down from generation to generation. You see tarot people in the US have their children speaking the language. We have books, we have literature, we have hymns, we have a Bible, we have a lot of things to preserve our culture. So we are here for a very long time. It also ensures that we have a harmonious coexistence, apart from the fact that some of us are Christians, some of us are traditionalists. We have one voice, we have one purpose. We always try to preserve the culture together. We also have a strong agrarian economy and cultural identity. Once you get to Lantang, you will see the neem trees, you will see the moringa, you would see groundnut, you would see rice, you see guinea corn, you see millet, you will see kunu, you will feel the hot weather, you will see our tasty water and our colored teeth. It is part of our identity and is unique to our people. Also have culinary traditions, local produce. We cultivate, like I said, the moringa and the neem tree. And these have a lot of health benefits. It would take us a whole day to explore this, but they are very, very nutritious. Research is still going on especially these two known trees and plants. We also have a traditional beverage, kunu, one of the sweetest I have ever tasted. One of the things I look forward to when I go to the village is to drink kunu. We also have rituals, festivals. You cannot have a festival without the Orim. That's the masquerades of Tarok people. They embody our cultural identity. They showcase traditional dances, their music. There's also the leopard skin, the animal skin, the godo, different cultural things that honor our heritage. We also have cultural preservation through tourism. The tourism in Tarok land can boost our economy, just that we have not explored that. And we need to start looking towards doing stuff like that because visiting such a rich cultural heritage would boost the economic tourism of the states and even the local government. So it's good that we promote these agricultural experiences, have communities engage with people from, because some people don't even know that we exist and they would appreciate this culture if they get to know more about us. Yeah, we also have mangoes. I forgot to include. We also have mangoes. One thing that you love about Tarok culture, Tarok land is the delicious sweet mangoes. They are always ripe from late February till rainy season, and they even take them from most mangoes that come to Jos actually come from Lantern, and that is one of the things I look forward to whenever I go down to the village. So this is me, Dauru Rachel. I hope you had some addition in your knowledge base about the tarot culture in Plateau State. So we just had this presentation so that we get a contextual foundation for today's webinar. Since we are looking at designing high impact problem driven research for local context. I don't know if anyone has a question or has something they would want to share from my presentation.
No, just go ahead and present with the citation of the speaker. As
Okay.
invite Prof, please share your slide at this point. Thank you.
All right. All right. So in the absence of anything, I'll just read the citation for Dr. Isah. Dr. Isah Yakub Mohammed is a distinguished senior lecturer in chemical engineering at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, that's ATBU Bauchi. He's an innovative problem solver with over 16 years of experience. He specializes in sustainable energy, waste polarization, catalysis, and process engineering, focuses on eco-friendly solutions for energy and environmental challenges. He has a PhD in chemical engineering from University of Nottingham in 2017. His thesis was on biofuel production from Napier grass. He has an MSc with a merit in chemical engineering in 2012 from University of Nottingham. Research was on boron removal in desalination. He has a Bachelor of Engineering with a second-class upper in chemical engineering from Federal University of Technology, Minna, Nigeria. That's in 2006. And also a postdoctoral fellowship from Nottingham, Malaysia, and a TETFAIR Innovation Fellow. His key achievements are he's a research leadership, he has research leadership, he has published over 58 peer-reviewed papers, 22 on Google Scholar, 19 on Scopus, and holds 5 patents in bioengineering and green materials. He has a lot of funding and grants. He has secured over 300 million plus in research grants. That's from TED Fund, NRF, ISDB for both projects on biofuels, waste to energy, decarbonization. His teaching and mentorship, he has supervised over 30 B engineering, M engineering theses, and teaches courses on process design, transport phenomena, and energy systems. He has collaborated and partnered with Sheffield Hallam University, Innovate Hub Abuja, and NIBRI in Abuja. His professional recognitions are he's a registered engineer with COREN and a member of relevant bodies. He has received awards in PhD scholarship, that's in the University of Nottingham, the TETFAIR funds he has received, and he has received ATBU Appreciation Award for Research Impact. He also has societal impact. He has founded Material and Energy Lab, Process Simulation Lab, and Fuel and Thermal Energy Lab at ATBU. Yeah, he's an advocate for STEM education and speaker on sustainable energy at various workshops. He's a reviewer for top journals. Examples are Energy Conservation Management, Journal of Cleaner Production, Biomass Conversion and Biorefinery, Journal of Environmental Chemical Engineering, Journal of Analytical Applied Pyrolysis, Waste and Biomass Polarization. Please give a round of applause as we welcome Dr. Isah.
Okay, so Prof, can you share your screen now? You can share your screen now.
Thank you so very much. Is it there?
Yes, Prof. You can.
Great. So can I start?
Yes, you can start.
Thank you. So, but still in the morning, good morning, everyone. Distinguished participant, my boss, the director of R&D at Plateau State University, and thank you for the citation. What's the name? I'm not sure I can remember the name. Thank you and
Rachel.
Welcome. Rachel, okay. Thank you so very much. So the topic of discussion today, this morning, is designing high-impact problem-driven research for local contexts. As rightly pointed out, this is to enhance this, the target audience, I meant to understand a PG student that entails master's and a PhD, and also early career researchers. So I've been well introduced, and I'll take you through the slide, and then after the presentation, we can questions, then we can put them forward. Well, so this session, the session objectives is as thus. Yeah. So what we intend to achieve here is to be able to see how we can design impactful research by aligning it with societal needs or measurable results. As we all know, research nowadays are judged by its ability to solve real problems, not just making theoretical contributions. For postgraduate students, designing a problem-solving research is essential for producing relevant and impactful thesis. It starts with a clear understanding of pressing societal, industrial, environmental, or economic challenges. This requires moving beyond abstract topics to focus on issues affecting communities and driving innovation. So all this, I'll take you through that so that you'll be able to, this discussion will center on these key items we have highlighted. Now, let's get the conversation going. Right. Why this matters for PhD students and early career researchers. As I mentioned earlier, focusing on real problem ensures originality and meaningful contribution to academia and society. It is very important to note, for you to be a very, very good researcher, you must be able to identify the opportunity. What do I mean by opportunity? Is to be able to look around you and identify what the problem is, and they haven't identified that, develop the techniques
The PS Prof is having a little challenge.
look at and provide a solution. Yeah. Can you see my slide now?
Yes, just see. So we're asking people to just drop your chat where you are chatting from, listening from, on the chat box, your status, your electoral researcher, so that people can also hear your research, so that people can easily interact with you.
Right. That's good. So as I was saying, as a early career researcher or a PhD student, having a very good topic that has to do with real problem solving will make you to have acceptance in your manuscript at submit what you call manuscript for publication, top journals. This is what the publishers look out for. It boosts your chances of what acceptance rate, and when that is accepted and is published, people will look out for that what do you call it, publications, and you get end citation, and you become more visible in academic environment. Now, solution-oriented research builds critical thinking and practical skills, making graduates more competitive. As you are undertaking the advanced degree or terminal degree, or you're an early researcher, what is very important is this. For philosophers, you should be able to, not to have a PhD, but to be able to see the problem and apply problems. It is not for you to just come, okay, you did you have done a PhD in a particular field of research, and that is the end. No. And let's say decade, let's say establishing the global warming for your area, or for example, fugitive emission from what we call domestic from domestic houses. Okay, you focus on only gas. What about the particulate matters, particularly those people that are using fuel wood? How can you transit? Okay, you work on this particular area for, let's say, over a decade. Now, suddenly, another window opens up. Research window opens up, and there comes a call with some sort of funding. Is it because you are not into that area of research, you won't be able to participate? No. The answer is, you should be able to navigate through, reposition, redirect your research portfolio, and fit in with the current challenges. So that's why, if solution-oriented research builds critical thinking, while you're undertaking the studies, it helps you to build a critical thinking. Practical skills are making you more competitive. Problem-driven studies align with funder priority. In the case for the early research researchers, if you're looking for funding research grant and whatever, you must be able to align the solution to the funder's priority. Imagine if your the funder's priority is not in the area of your research where you did your PhD. Does that mean you cannot participate? You cannot apply? So it should be able to look at what the problem is, the quantum of the problem, and use philosophical skills you've got to be able to solve the problem. And then local research tackles community challenges, fostering sustainable development and stronger university-society ties. Like Rachel, the lady who read the citation, opening remarks, made mention, gave a very overview of the localities there. And from our presentation, we will see that the host community is, as rightly mentioned by us, is agrarian economy, and they focus more on two plants or crops of what view. It's a mango and the neem tree, and also the moringa aloe vera. Moringa, right? Moringa tree. Okay, moringa. So now, if this university is cited, as I know the university is cited, they are focused, right? And then the communities who are majorly from this, I can say they are mostly farmers. What is the problem within the activities of the community people? What are those things? What are the challenges they are facing? And as a researcher, you should be able to identify one of the challenges or challenges that the farmers are facing, and to be able to address it, provide solution that will uplift them in terms of economy, in terms of making life easier, more meaningful to the people, the host community. So by involving into developing a solution that is local, that's solving local problem, that is addressing local challenges, will foster, it will bring recognition and also foster a very good tie between the university and also the host communities. Now, what is problem-driven research? What is problem-driven research? The research has moved beyond theoretical to practical solutions. Any research undertaken that has no practical solution, that is merely theoretical, and it does not do anybody well. It doesn't like have any significant impact on the community, even on the researcher. For example, you decide to undertake effects of, let's say, effect of early harvesting of mango. Yes, you have done that. That's the theoretical effect. So what implication has it got in terms of economy, in terms of the livelihood of people, in terms of what the post-harvest? What impact has that topic going to make? So this is very, very critical for us to be able to understand that we should think and move beyond theory to practical solution, particularly those that affect the communities. Now, a problem-driven research translates abstract academic concept into actionable strategies, tools, and policies that directly address in fact, how that put it, it's not where you want to establish what you call online meeting. This kind of challenges keep persisting. So we need to find a way how to be able to solve this problem. So as I was saying earlier, problem-driven research has to do with producing a measurable societal, economic, and environmental impact. The outcome of such research can be quantified, observed, industry efficiency, or ecological health. So as you see, this very 4 bullet points has detailed out what a problem-driven research is all about. Undertaking any research that has no practical implication, economic value, and also that has not any impact on the people's life, I think it's just a mere, what you call academic exercise. So we should be able to encourage ourselves to be able to identify, starting from the community where we live in, where we work in, and to be able to see, okay, my people are suffering from X, Y, Z, establishing the traditional approach in which they used to tackle the problem, and come up with the scientific proven technology or techniques that can also address that. And at the end of the day, the life of people will be impacted positively in terms of the finances or economy and their well-being. This is very, very important for us as a PhD or master student and also early research career. Right? Difference between topics and problems. You can see it's very, very biodiesel production. What does it tell? Just nothing. Yes, biodiesel production. But the problem is that high cost of diesel affecting rural farmers. Now, how can you comment like to fill this gap? You can say how that is what do you call it? Now. From where to reduce the cost of that question, and then you'll be able to come up with a solution. That's what you call SMR and relevant. If you are, for example, let's say you are undertaking, you're attempting to solve a problem that has been already solved donkey years ago, it won't have any impact. For example, you want to develop vaccine that address the issue of mosquito. We have, today, we don't have vaccine for malaria. I'm not sure. But if you want to develop another drug, that drug must be able to surpass the existing drugs that are being administered for malaria treatment. These are very key important things that we need to understand as researchers and the postgraduate student to be able to distinguish between the topic and the problem. And the problem must be specific, measurable, and relevant to society. Now, what sources of research problem? Where do we see research problem? Where? What are the sources of the research problem? Number one, a significant source of research problem lies in systematic failure across various sectors, from community challenges, energy poverty in rural area, water challenges, non-access to clean water, sanitation issues, waste disposal, and what have you. This, if you look at every community in Nigeria, particularly those that reside in the rural area, you see that hardly you can see this any of the communities are not facing this kind of problem. So dig deep into the problem and see area in which you can contribute. And when you do that, you formulate the problem and you ensure that SMR is adhered to, simple, measurable, and relevant. And if that you're able to formulate the problem, I think you will be sure that you are solving problems that can have impact on the society. Then the next thing is to see industries' inefficiencies that hinder productivity and innovation. This is what we call demand-driven research. If industries don't come to you, go to them. Or if you are residing in an area, for example, we have a couple of industries in Plateau, in Jos particularly. I'm not sure about Bokos. I'm not too familiar. But we believe an industry that has to do with agro processing, I think is likely to be there. So what you need to do, what are things they are doing that is not like the profit margin is not encouraging? What are the things you think they can do, you can support to be able to add additional revenue stream to what they are doing? By the time you make this presentation to them, or by the time you come up, you formulate the problem and come up and approach them to say, hey, I have this solution. If you do X, Y, Z, this is what is likely to happen. I tell you, the industry will work with you, and so that you can co-create solution that will be of mutual benefit for both yourself as a researcher and also the industrial industry partner. So it is very important. And where this is how to search for problems. Number one, look at the community. Number two, the industry inefficiencies. And number three, government policy gaps where regulation failed to address current needs. Critical environmental issues that threatens ecological balance and require urgent and evidence-based intervention. These are very, very areas in which you can be able to identify or formulate or sources of where you can have what you call a real problem that need to be addressed. The last one, which is more, I feel like the literature gap. You review the existing scholarships and literature gaps that exist. You look at different literature and look at what is the state of art, and then think about a solution that when at the end of the day, it will add to knowledge, and when not only adding to knowledge, it will have a positive impact and make in terms of what economy, livelihood, and also environmental sustainability. These are very critical things that we have to look out and when we are formulating our problem. Now, understanding local context, because this title, the topic is clearly set out on the presentation should be under local context. What is local context? Understanding local context. Resource availability, right? Resource availability within the local context determines whether a proposed solution can be sustainably implemented using existing materials, funding, and community expertise. Now, I'll look at this in two phases. Number one, looking at it in terms of material. You cannot be proposing a solution that requires transportation of materials from another region to where the problem exists. You must look inward to be able to utilize materials and forces of nature available locally to be able to address that problem. It is very important. This dynamic should be well understood. You cannot, trying to solve a problem that you have to import some other materials to come up to be able to solve that problem. It will be very costly, and at the same time, the sustainability will be in question. Now, let's look at climate and environment. Local climate, the solution must be adaptable to local climate. You cannot intend to solve a problem in Bokos that, the temperature, max temperature should be around, let's say, around, I'm not sure whether it's more than you can experience up to 30 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure because of the local weather and the climate condition in that area. And now you cannot, the same solution may likely or might not work in the regions like Borno State, where you can experience about like 40 degrees Celsius sometimes, like Sokoto and other parts of the country. So you have to understand the local context while trying to provide a solution to local challenges. Very important. And socio-economic reality, affordability. How can this solution you're proposing be easily adopted by the local people? Because you cannot seem to be like providing solution and the people cannot afford it. It's just a waste of time. You look inward, what are they doing? What is their capacity? Then you come up with a minimum viable product of minimum viable that be used and so that they can improve their livelihood. It's very important. These things we need to understand it clearly so that we can make progress in addressing challenges we face. The solution align with the culture of the people. This is just dead on arrival. Nobody, because there will not be community buy-in. So, for example, let's say we're working on things that has to do with animal husbandry, or let's say cow, and then let's say in the areas or in a region like India, right? You try to process something from the cow, then you know that Indians, they don't really like the cow there is a sacred animal, and then they cannot allow anything that has to do with taking any part of the cow, any part of the cow to be utilized for something else. That's not going to work. So that's also we need to understand the cultural acceptance. We must be able to produce a solution that the community will be able to adopt and key in, so that co-creation generally lead to a more viable solution. Very important. Now, infrastructure limitation. Infrastructure limitations such as inadequate roads, unreliable electricity directly affect the feasibility and effectiveness of implementing research solutions. So you have to look at what is doable, what can you do within the available natural resources and also the forces of nature available there to be able to solve one or two problems. It's better than to focus on those, to be able to compare to while you try to solve theoretical, being a complex problem that does not have any impact, just merely academic exercise. This we have to be able to, we have to bear this in mind in such a way that whatever we do, it must be in line with trying to solve the challenge in our immediate community or within the region, that such a way that it will have economic benefit for both the researcher and also the community, so that more jobs can be created along the value chain of your solution. It's very important. We need to understand this. We must understand this for us to be able to make very good impacts. Now, from problem to research questions. How do you navigate from your problem, research problem, down to what? Research questions. The first thing, you need to identify what the problem is. The quantum, identify the knowledge gap in that, and formulate research question, propose expected solution. How do you achieve all this? It's very important. When you identify the problem, how big is that problem? How big is the problem? That's very important. Okay, for example, let's say mango, yearly in Bokos, hundreds of tons of ripe mango are harvested. However, 30% of this end in waste due to what? Improper post-harvest handling. Can you see that? The magnitude of the problem. Okay, now you see, President, the post has to be this allows some microbial food, let's say microbial. You begin strategy. What are strategies that need to be implemented such a way that to detect the mangoes is very important. And then when you do that, you should be able to estimate at the end of this solution, you should out of 30% annual loss on mango, it is going to reduce mango loss due to post-harvest by significantly by less than 70%. That's you have an expected outcome. Very clear. SMR. What's smart, measurable, and what? Relevance, because this is what activities that people of Bogos are into. And by providing solution to this problem, they'll be able to make very good impact in terms of the returns on the investment of mango processing, mango business, and what have you. This is very important. We have to really, really understand it clearly. Okay. Now, let's look at one problem also. Plastic waste accumulation. Yes, we know Nigeria and every part of Nigeria, you see a lot of plastic litters all over the places. How can we do this? How can we solve this problem? How can plastic waste be converted into durable road materials? You can see that's the research question. Yeah, in my lab, we've been able to come up with something that plastic waste and lignin into self-healing bitumen. That is to say, everyday government agencies like Federal Ministry of Works budget a lot of money into road rehabilitation. We want to see how this plastic can be converted together with agro residue, the lignin from the biomass, put together to be able to provide an alternative to what asphalt or bitumen, such that in the event of crack, exposure to UV, the road or the bitumen, the asphalt will heal itself, thereby eliminating the needs or reduces significantly the needs to be able to for road rehabilitation. So you can see the quantum of what problem they're trying to solve. Now, the impact will be waste reduction and improve road performance, and also cost reduction, cost of governance. Now, problem, let's look at another problem in terms of agriculture. Yeah, low crop yield due to poor irrigation. Can smart irrigation improve water efficiency and yield? Impacts of this particular research will have to do with food security and resource conservation. So these are clear from problem to research questions. You must be able to see a problem and then formulate research question and then expected outcome. Very, very measurable, smart, and relevant. It must be, this SMR must be adhered to. Now, making your thesis stand out. How do you want to make your thesis stand out? And you've had, I'm sure, the postgraduate student have seen during the convocation, you'll see the best thesis winner and what have you. How do you want to make your thesis stand out? If your thesis is just mathematical modeling of mango production in mango and bogos, that is irrelevant. What impact is it going to make? Yes, they produce mango. What impact? Or the number of trees per hectare of moringa tree in bogos. So what is it? What is that? What is it solving? For your thesis to be outstanding, it must address real problems, provide implementable solution, include field validation, demonstrate economic visibility, and publishable and scalable outcomes. Any thesis that have got these key 5 elements is standing out, and that will give definitely recognition. Very important, very clear. It's a straight point for you to have an outstanding thesis. It must be seen to have addressed problems, real problems, provide solutions, and include field validation with evidence. That's what that means, evidence. You have done it in the lab, you have gone to field, and you validated your claim. And to be able to see, you evaluate the techno-economics of entire, that is demonstrating economic visibility. You should be able to give numbers. By adopting this solution, require X amount of input, and at the end of the day, the product has this quality, and that in turn gives you a return on investment of, let's say, X%, Y%. That is what the people want to hear, industry people want to hear. And by so doing, you have demonstrated that your thesis has a practical application, and solving a practical application is practical and can provide solution to the existing problems that will have both economic and also societal impact. Very important. Now, common mistakes PhD student make. Choose topics with no real-world application. Mathematical modeling of mathematical modeling of the yield of mango in Bogos. What next? It doesn't make any sense. So you must be able to choose topics with real world relevance. SMR still come to play here. It must be smart. It must be what? Smart, it must be measurable, and what? Relevant. Very relevant. Most of the theses are overly theoretical, just mere academic exercise. Just vague academic exercise. Do a solution to a second order differential equation. What is that differential equation is doing? What say a differential equation that has to do with what? Post-harvest handling of mango. That is fine. By the time you reduce that, it will translate to money because it will reduce. And this is very critical. If your thesis has not this particular thing, then you have to rethink. No implementation pathway. You have not demonstrated anything. You just come with formula and that's it. How have you validated it? No. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have costs and usability and weak problem statement. These are very critical things. These are most of the mistakes. That's why sometimes I look at undergraduate, postgraduate, both masters and PhD from experience. When I'm a side project student, I don't look at them as undergraduate. You know, apologies to PG students. If you adopt this, believe me, you will finish your project or your research in good time. There is this particular characteristics of a PG student. When they spend 2 months, they disappear. After 3 months, 6 months, they reappear. It doesn't work. What we seem to be able to do for undergraduates, because they are time-bound, they know they must graduate, and therefore they must sit down and do the work. Provide an enable environment for them, and you see wonders. So whenever I'm giving undergraduate student, I don't see them as what undergraduate student. I see them as researcher. I take them through a lot of series of what you call hands-on in the laboratory for those that have to do with laboratory, and they must be working on a real problem. If you are not ready, you go change your supervisor. I'm fine with that. It's better to work with one that is doing meaningful research than to work with many that will do research and they end up in shelf. You will not have any impact. A waste of time, waste of resources, and everything you can think of. Now, let's look at, for you to do any research, a meaningful research, you must align your research problem into national and global priorities. What do I mean by that? Renewable energy, waste to resource technologies, climate resilient, food security, sustainable infrastructure, and circular economy. This is the direction in which the world is moving towards. We must be able to see that whatever we do, we key into SDGs and also our national priority. For example, in Nigeria, Nigeria is trying to move from a fossil-based economy to what? A low-carbon economy. Key into that direction. Nigeria is also developing a blue economy that has to do with marine environment. Key or direct your research into those areas so that it will be relevant. SMR. When it's relevant, it's providing solutions, and then you're making impact. Everybody is happy. We have challenges of food security. How can we develop systems or procedures to make sure to improve crop cultivation without necessarily to have chemical-based solutions, indigenous solutions, intensified technologies to be able to address this food insecurity, to be able to reach what you call a self-sustained food security, sustainable infrastructure, and circular economy. You look at circular economy to be able to see everything from cradle to cradle has way of going back to the system, from the raw material processing to the end product back to the raw material. Circular principle, circular economy principle. Low waste, waste generation, minimal waste generation, and more return on investment. So these are the things we must do if we want to do any research that has global or national relevance that will obey the SMR. It must be what? Smart, simple, and also what? Relevance. Now, tips for strong problem strong problem statement defines the issue clearly. Statement shows who is affected. A strong problem statement identifies the existing. So this is a very key points, tips for strong problem statement. It must have these particular elements. Defines what the issue is, or what the issues are. Show who is affected. Explain the consequences, and identifies existing gaps. Justifies the need for research. Very important. For example, let's talk about mango. Because that's according to the first presenter, that they are agrarian people, and then mango is one of the strong problems. It's the production of mangoes, fruit from Bogos. They stand at this. This activity is dominates maybe it's a dominant what do you call activity of the population of population. Out of people, out of this production, 30% of these reduce of the livelihood. However, the return, this requires importation and make the whole process capital intensive. Hence, the need to develop a low-cost solution to address this, which is the focus of your research. Very important. Define it clearly. A strong problem statement has got to do these things. Define the issue clearly, shows who is affected, explain the consequences, identify the existing gaps, and justify the need for research. Very important. We have to be clear about this. Now, quick checklist before we finalize your topic. Is the problem real or significant? These questions must be answered. Can the solution be implemented locally? Is data accessible? Is the research feasible within your time frame? Does it contribute to knowledge, to new knowledge? Does it? These are the things you must check out when you're conceiving the title, the thesis, to be able to see that it must be what real, still to solve a real problem, and must have significance. Can the solution be implemented locally? We have in earlier slides, we talk about the need to be able to see within our local community to drive our solution to the existing challenges so that people can feel the impact, both economically and also to see it in the environment, also sustainability. Is the research feasible within the time frame? For PhD, minimum is 36 months. You cannot just go and pick something that will take you 10 years and you say you are doing a PhD. That won't work. And that's most mistakes that PhD students make. And also partly is their problem, also partly is our colleagues. We have to be seen to be able to support these young people so that at the end of the day, they take over from us and then keep moving towards prosperity. Otherwise, the system will be truncated. It needs serious guidance, serious mentorship, and then we must insist the right thing must be done. We should insist the right thing should be done. This is very important. This is a non-negotiable and things we must do to be able to move this country forward. Key takeaways. Key takeaway in this presentation. Number one, start with real problems. Start with real problems. The thesis should be seen to have title that will address real problems. Local context drive adoption. If your solution is co-created by local people, it means you have gotten the buyers or the customers already. Because everybody, since it's addressing a problem within the community would like to have it. And then when you co-create it, you will be able to understand the challenges they are facing more detail, a serious impact, improve the career community and also communities. Within yourself, you are benefiting, the community is benefiting, everybody is happy. So these are 4 key takeaways that we must be able to put at it. Start local, and if it does, then the impact will also improve your career and the communities also. It's a win-win solution. By the time you've got, you're solving a problem that affects the local challenges. And that when you get to see people who doesn't believe in the academics will be willing to appreciate the knowledge, because everything in our environment, everything surrounding you is about knowledge. It's knowledge, nothing more than that. The house you are living in, it's about knowledge. Materials we are produced based on knowledge. Knowledge economy is the key word. There's nothing you can do. Even the so-called the hackers we have is based on knowledge, but they are using it in a wrong way. Assuming they turn it to right thing and the good thing, I tell you, co-create solutions that will prevent all their negative usage. It will be a very fantastic solution to their dear country. So I employ all of us to look at this critically and have a what you call a change in mind, in our mindset, so that we'll be able to see that our communities enjoy us as a university such a way that such that they see universities as a solution providers to their to the communities, and also that we encourage them to participate more, to engage with the university, and everybody is happy for that. Thank you so very much for listening.
Oh, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very, very much. I know we have a lot of questions to ask. Yeah, so can we take questions? If you have questions, you can just indicate by raising up your hand. We'll ask you to unmute, and then you ask your question. If you have any question. Any question? Okay, Prof, somebody's asking, Prof, are you
please feel free, just feel free. We're here for you. Ask any question.
Yeah, somebody's asking a question.
Right.
He said, this is a great session, Prof. Can you please shed more light on connecting your research from local to national and global relevance, please?
Very good.
So yes.
From local, national, and global. Very good.
Yes.
What that means is this. What that means is this. Now, you try to formulate the problem. You look at the local. What are the challenges our local people are facing? You look. I mentioned. I will use Bokos as an example. Right. Now we said basically we've been using mango business, right? Now, if mango are left decay, they emit what we call methane, and this is a notorious gas, one of the greenhouse gas that has global warming potential, multiple folds more than that of the CO2. Now you can see it's a local problem, right? Local problem. Mango post-harvest losses, right? It's creating what? Global warming. Now the problem. Improving what you call mango shelf life is part of what? Food security. Then you can see this component and food security, post-harvest losses, and also greenhouse gas emission. The people, this originated from the locals. You see, mango business in Bogos is one of the activities people local engaging for livelihood. You are trying to solve that problem, and that problem has a link with national priority, which is food security. And that national priority also linked because if without solving this problem, this challenge will contribute toward emission of greenhouse gases. So you can see how the three are linked together. This is what we meant by that. We also cited an example of plastics. We've got plastic around every litter around our communities. How can we convert this plastic to something meaningful, as a sustainable construction materials? Now, you've got the plastic within communities. These plastics will end up in what? In waste or in the riverine areas, which affect aquatics and thereby distort the food chain. Because when they consume plastic, fish and what have you, we consume the fish or the aquatic animals. And then we come back to our system. That is what is now affecting the entire food ecosystem or food chain. And will have negative impact on our health. Now, addressing that, converting those plastics, you are solving solid waste management. And solid waste management is not particular to Nigeria, it's a global challenge. And then converting these same plastics to something that will make impact in terms of road construction, reduce the capital expenditure on terms of infrastructure, that is road rehabilitations. It's a national issue you're solving. Now, reducing that with fossil fuel, because the amount of fossil-based bitumen that will be required to do the asphalt will be reduced by a certain percentage, thereby reducing the carbon emission or the carbon footprint. So you can see from local problem down to national to the global. This is what I mean by that. I hope that is clear.
Thank you very much. So, learn about this. You have this up. You can unmute, and let me ask you to unmute, and then ask you question.
Is the person clear about the explanation, or you need further details?
I think he's not responding.
Can I go on?
Yes. Yes, that we can add.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, R&D, Plasu. Thank you, Prof, for that wonderful and excellent presentation. I want to know, let's say you have come up with a solution from your research. How then are you going to translate this solution into a real-time activity? Is it going to be on you now to try to see that it becomes a real-time activity, or is it the university that you were able to undertake the research with, or is it that you have to meet some organs of government or the relevant agencies so that we can translate it into a real-time activity? Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. This is a very good question. Yeah, having developed a solution from the university, now the question is, whose responsibility is it to take it to another level so that it can be like mass produced, become what you call a solution that has impacts. Now, when you develop a solution, there are two things to that. First of all, you have to protect that. Otherwise, anybody that sees that solution and it has the potentials or capability to do that, it will be replicated and all effort will be lost. Number two, you may take the risk to do it individually, but when there is what you call legal battle begins to set in, you won't have the financial muscle to handle that. So, in my opinion, first of all, collaborate with the university, because university, you are an employee of the university. Now, make known to the university that yes, we have got X solution, has the potential to do this and that. Then you will protect the solution so that, yes, it is your territory. Now, having done that, now the next stage is to make it to mass produce so that it will be what used as a solution. Now there's what you call valley of debt. You need resources to do that. Who provide those resources? Yeah, you can have angel investors to give you some support to be able to transit from minimum viable products, as it were, to a mass production, where people can be able to, it can be either service or a solution that people can use, readily to use. But yes, in Nigeria, that challenge still exists, but federal government is doing a lot to be able to come up with what? That deficiency or that missing gap between the solution, MVP, to a what? Mass production, commercial viability of the solution you have. So in that aspect, you need to work closely with the university, particularly the R&D unit, to be able to guide, to be able to provide support. While that one is going on, you also look at other areas where you can get source funding to be able to reach that value of debt. There are many openings, but the danger in that, if you are doing it individually, the danger is that you are likely to lose that solution, because by the time you expose everything to public or to some people, they will steal the idea, and that is the end of it. So that number one thing is to protect. After protecting, now to move to the next phase, which is commercialization, is for you to be able to get transit. How do you transit from the MVP to commercialization? Is for you to get the what? To breach the value of debt. But the commercialization stage, they die naturally because of lack of understanding. Before you know, the product somebody has developed is there in a sugar being produced. It's in Sokoto, because you didn't protect it. Now, the funding gap, as I mentioned before, you collaborate with the university and get their buy-in. I'm telling you, the university will do all it takes. If they understand the economic benefit, everybody will be happy. And the university will strongly be happy to support this kind of things. In fact, the university will even go extra mile to look for funding and partners. And with that, you are good. Otherwise, if you are alone, you cannot fight battle. Because there are a lot of people, they are just waiting. I'm sorry to use this, a lot of Chinese are available. They will take the solution, go to China, mass produce and bring back to Nigeria. You will just be talking around. Yeah, this is my solution. What evidence have you got? So this is very important. This is my humble opinion on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll ask Aliu Husseini to unmute and ask this question. Aliu.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My question is on the aspect of topic selection. The first section that talks about problem, to assess whether for a good topic, you have to first think of where the problem is real and significant. Now that aspect of being real, that is where I'm not very much clear with. So I want you to please shed more light on that so that I can understand you better. Thank you so much, sir.
Very good. So I'm going to ask you specific questions too. Where are you from?
I'm from Zaria.
Zaria. So
yes,
in your area, in Zaria, what are the things that local people do there in Zaria?
They are mostly farmers, sir.
Farmers. What crops do they farm? Sir. Mostly.
Mostly guinea corn, yam, maize.
Now let's talk about yam.
Okay, sir.
Have you seen these farmers grumbling a lot about decay of yam tubers after harvesting?
Yes, they used to experience that.
How big is that? It's a problem, right? To yam farmers in Zaria,
yes.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Now, how big is that problem?
No, since it's one of their, well, it's taken to be big because it's big, sir. Because it's the staple food in that area. Because
let's say you, for example, let's say you farm, let's say 10 hectares of land, right? You cultivated yam on 10 hectares of land, and averagely the yield, let's say, is 10 tons, for example. After harvesting, you realize 10 tons. And within 2 months, from 10 tons, it results to 2 tons. That's a colossal loss. You know that?
Yes.
That is the magnitude. It's just more than 80%, up to 80%, or more than 70% of the harvest end up in West. Now, you can see,
yes, sir.
That's the problem from your people. Young farmers in your area are suffering. Don't you think if you develop a solution and you co-create it with them, don't you think they will be happy?
Very much, sir.
So what is that impact? When they are happy, there is reduction in the losses of post-harvest losses of yam. They have more money, more families are happy, more food on the table. And what are you creating? Impact. And that's a typical example of real solution.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, sir. Thank you so much.
Very good. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Then, sir, what's the difference between that real aspects, the impact of you're talking about, and the significance?
Very good. Now, I said to you, how big is the problem, right? We say more than 20%, more than 70%.
Yes, sir.
So the losses is highly significant. Losses experienced by young farmers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. The impact, when you provide a solution, your solution, I told you that many people now, the losses will reduce. They sell the yam, they make more money, they build more houses, they send their children to universities. That is the impact.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I now see it. So it's like a double barrel point.
Yes.
Talking about two things at a time. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're most welcome.
I'm happy to be with you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Director, over to you.
Jacob is to ask his question. I just unmuted him.
Hello, sir. Thank you. I have a question. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for the. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Thank you very much for the presentation. It's very helpful. I am Jacob from the Department of English Language, Bauchi University.
Very good. Good.
My question is this. Having noticed the problem in a society and made effort through research to find solution to the problem. And then as a researcher, is it a must that this solution, especially going forward to the financial benefits in terms of getting direct financial benefit from this situation? For instance, you talked about something that relates with mango in a particular environment. Now you have this idea, you've discovered this solution, and then must it be that this researcher must be the one to take this research of the solution to the end where the financial solution, financial benefit must come back to him? What I mean is it not possible that as a researcher, your main effort is to find these solutions and then make it public so that other people in the society can now take this information, use it to impact the society. If, because I don't have the resources to reproduce or to produce this thing that I've found that will be a solution to a people in a particular society, and I decide that because I don't have the financial strength, let it remain a hidden thing to me. Let it remain there in my computer. Let it remain there in my head. Would that translate into societal importance? I'm just trying to say that as a researcher, you have the potential to carry out several researches. You did one perhaps in Bocas, another in Lantan, another in... Must I carry out those researches at all these places for my own eventual financial benefit? Or I can complete them and allow others to take them from there to bless the society? That is my question, sir. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so very much. Yeah, let me clarify a lot of this. Your question has got a lot of what do you call it, areas that need to be retouched. Now, number one, you said having developed a solution given out for free, or transiting that from that solution to commercialization, right? That's one question. Number two, having the solution and keeping it within yourself because you don't have the financial muscle to be able to move it to commercialization level. Does it make any sense? The third one is having developed a solution and then giving it out for, to communities to use so that people can that's another to create some impact. Yes. Number one, scenario one, haven't developed a solution without financial muscle to take it to commercialization level. It's not the responsibility, so to say. If you cannot do it, that's what I emphasize, you have to protect your solution. Even if you want to give it to your people, protect your solution first. What do I mean by protect yourself? By having intellectual property. It's just that, you know how they sell land, piece of land in your area, right? If you say you are buying land and you pay the money and there's no C of O, that land is as good as nothing. It doesn't belong to you. But if you purchase the land, you pay, even if there's evidence of payment, and without C of O, you are just wasting your time. But if you purchase the land, you made the payment, evidence of payments are available, and you have a C of O, that land belongs to you. At any point in time, anybody that encourages that, you can take legal action. The same thing with IP. If you've got the solution and you didn't protect it, somebody will pick it up and start making money from it. And you will have what you call the legal standpoint to challenge the person. Because what evidence have you got? And in filing the IP, that's what you call first to file. First to file, even if you own the solution and I grab the solution from you without you knowing, and I made this first submission to the IP office to get the patent or to copyright it. When you put your own, you bring your own will be knocked out. You'll be knocked out because it's already in their database. That's what you call first to file. It's very critical, very important. It is a must do for you to always protect your solution. Your idea must be protected at any given time. Otherwise, you will lose. That's one aspect. Now you don't have the financial to move commercialization. You form partners. Look out for partners. You are in the university community. Liaise with IPPTO, Intellectual Property Transfer Officer of the university, which is, I believe, is under R&D. Collaborate. Let's see how viable the solution is. If university understand the viability of your solution, I tell you, no university will turn aside the other side and leave the solution to just go like that. Because the investment, return on that investment will be massive. For example, you've been drinking Coca-Cola since you were born, I believe so. Is that correct? It is a formulation, somebody's idea. And every day, how many years now, Coca-Cola still in existence? The flavor is formulated and copyrighted and patented. Nobody, I say nobody can reproduce that flavor. Anybody that attempted that, you see legal battle. They'll end up in legal issues. So this is it. Transiting from the minimum product or solution to a commercialization level requires serious investment, and it requires sincere partnership, particularly if you are a researcher within the university. Partner, approach your research R&D. They will guide you appropriately. The two parties, which is you as a researcher and the university, will now form partners and help you to find funding to transit to what to exit that value of debt, so that you have your solution will get toward commercialization level. Now, the third one, which is giving out the solution for people so that they can what they call benefit from it, without patenting, without protecting it. I tell you, if you give out to the community, somebody from somewhere will go and take that solution and bring it back to your people, and they will pay for it. But if you protect it initially, it's okay. Nobody can come to your community and say, yeah, he is the owner of this solution. You can give it. But it is always good to have a premium on any solution. Otherwise, it will be taken for granted. This IP is a very serious, a property. If you don't guard it jealously, I tell you, it will be taken for granted. So you protect it. You can call for investors to come, and you can even approach NGOs. From there, you just give them, this is a solution, and then you will be also recognized, because you are giving that to people to be able to use your community and make life better for people. That's fine. You are making impact, but you must protect your solution. That's the bottom line. Thank you. I hope I have addressed. Hello, Mr. Jacob.
I think yes.
Are you with us?
Yeah, he's around, but I think yes, muted himself. Okay, Prof. Thank you very much for this time, and I really want to appreciate everyone for coming. I'll just ask one question to appreciate Prof. Any person that wants to just appreciate Prof. I'll ask Josiah Marut to please appreciate Prof for us, and then Marut. Okay, Marut, please help us appreciate Prof. So that we can. Please, after this, if we want to just have a 5-minute breakout session, we'll just split into various groups, just to interact and possibly see how you can share research ideas and form collaboration at DCC. It's just an informal breakout session. So if you're interested in meeting new friends and meeting new people, you just wait minutes after this. Thank you.
All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate and deliver these issues. We sincerely appreciate you, sir, on behalf of Plateau State University workers. We appreciate
It appears Marut's having a network problem. Everybody's
we lost
having network problems. Yeah, it's a problem we need to solve. So, Prof, thank you very much for your time. We'll have more of you present to us, and one of these days we plan for you to come visit us. We're hoping that we'll begin to have more impact-driven research, and also look at researches that focus more on making impact. And you hear our story. The research directorate is available to support everyone. Please reach out to us, and then we would see how we can take you up from there. Financially, we'll see how to help you raise money as much as possible. So I will be ending the recording here and hoping that we will go now to our breakout session.